Well, this is weird. I've got just exactly the amount of light on me as I normally have, but for some reason the picture looks really dark. And on top of that, my eyes just started twitching. But yeah, look, fucking in this light, makes me look as knackered as I actually am. Maybe that's why my eyes twitching. And I've just discovered some arsehole. When I'm pointing it, this is me pointing, you can't see the tip of my finger. I'm not just waving my arm about. Some arsehole, I'm pointing outside the window here. I've got the curtains closed. This is what happens when I open the curtains. So that's not good, is it? And also, when I open the curtains, I can see some arsehole who's decided to park right on the border, like right on the edge, right on the edge of my drive. Why do people do that? And I only wish that I'd actually sort of seen them do it. I would have gone out and, oi, or shaken my fist. But as it is, I'm reduced to switching the curtains, which is actually quite a pastime of mine. It's one occasion. There's one occasion going back a couple of years. I think someone local must have been having a party, and I think I must have been doing something else because I wasn't really on the ball, and then all of a sudden, I just got a sense that there was something out the front of my house. So I looked out the front door. Someone had parked literally halfway over my drive. Literally, so there's only half of it, it was half over my drive. It's like Jesus Christ, how does anyone get that stupid? Is that okay? Are they just like that oblivious to how, to have no spatial awareness? It's a great start to a video, a good old moan. And so, I was hoping maybe they're not going to, they're only there temporarily, because that's forgivable. They're only dropping something off. But no, the car was there all day. It really, really wound me up. And I was thinking, am I supposed to remedy this? Am I meant to go knock on all the local doors to find out where this person is who owns this car? But no, I didn't do that because that's stupid. That was ridiculous. But they were there hours. I was thinking, how does anyone get to be that ignorant? But yeah. Although what I should have done, I don't know if anybody remembers, one of my older videos. It was I filmed in the aftermath of that was on a Sunday, the aftermath of the Saturday night before, where some pissheads had nicked a local car, done a bit of joyriding in my area, and ended up coming round the bend. I'm pointing again. Coming around the bend, because I live on a hill, and it's like a blind bend, and it's sort of an arc, and people drive it really, really quickly. It's quite that dodgy bend, and they come round the bend, these pissheads, and hit a load of cars on the outside of the bend, and then ended up being catapulted across the road, and ended up right across my front drive, over a bush, literally on top of a bush, right across the front drive. And I was sat in here, just on the computer. It must have been, it's 1:30. I'd been out earlier, previously, so I was a little bit pissed. I wasn't really paying that much attention. The weird thing was, I didn't actually really notice them do it. What sort of got my attention was when they were revving the engine of their car to get it off this bush and it wouldn't move. It's the weirdest thing. And I went out there and I was like a bit like rat-arsed. I went, "Is this your car?" And one of them went, I think he was Polish. He went, "No, it's my friend's." And then his mate was going, "Oh," because he obviously had a bit of whiplash, and all the airbags had gone off, and then and all these locals who'd all clearly heard it, and I'm right here. All people from all the way up the road had heard it, but I hadn't for some reason. Weird. They all come sort of like out the woodwork, and then these two shady characters walked off down the road. And I was thinking, it's only afterwards I realised that probably wasn't their car. Probably wasn't their car, you know. And it was a funny night. And then some random ambulance chaser turned up. This bloke in a car, and he I don't know what he did. He leant inside the window, and unless he was with the blokes who'd nicked the car, or he was a friend of theirs or something, and he was recovering something. It's only just dawned on me. Because he leant inside the window. It looked like he'd placed something on the like some sort of weird transponder or something. I don't know. I thought he might have been like an ambulance chaser, like an insurance. I think he was actually, because he said something about mentioned insurance. I wonder if he's some local like idiot who works for an ambulance chaser and just sort of monitors like police radio and stuff. I don't know. But he was weird. He turned up and then buggered off, and then the police turned up. It was they turned up sort of a couple of hours later. Or an so I don't know, however. It was a WPC and a policeman, a man and a woman, turned up in their car. And they looked over it, and I'd gone back inside by this time, and everyone else had dispersed. There's loads of, it's the first and only time I've ever really met most of my neighbours. But I'd come back inside, and then sort of they were sorting it out, and then afterwards they'd sorted out and done all their biz. They knocked on my door, opened it, and I spoke to the WPC. In my sort of semi-pissed state, I unwisely felt the need to try to try and flirt with the WPC. And she goes to me, actually no, it was her mate. He goes to me, because it was about I wanted to know how to get rid of this car, what I was supposed to do next, because it was clearly like a stolen car, and whether or not it was like a crime scene. And her mate, colleague, "Piss off!" It's my cat. I heard it. Okay, they scratch on that door there because they're not allowed in there. They know they're not allowed in there, and when they want attention, okay. But anyway, yeah, her colleague said to me, "Are you on the internet at all?" I went, I said something sarky about, just a little bit, you know, because it was, I don't know, like 2012 or something. Really sarcastic, and I sort of went nudge, sort of like to the WPC as if, what was he like, eh? Yeah, but anyway, yeah. There is an end to the story. Yeah, thing is, eventually the next day, they told me to contact the sort of council, and because it hadn't been reported stolen, because it wasn't a crime scene, I could contact someone, phone them up, and they just sort of towed it away. So if anyone ever parks across your drive or anything, just phone up the council and sort of they'll come and take it away. Yeah, and that's what happened. And, yeah. That little arsehole out there is going to keep scratching on that door. I could try and ignore it. Sooner or later, you watch that door behind me. Sooner or later, it will start opening. There'll be a little sort of crack of light will appear. It's not opening. I'm gonna try and ignore them, bastards. But anyway, Jesus, 10 minutes already, and I thought it was only gonna be a short one. It's a pickups video. I still look as knackered as I did at the beginning of the video. Often, I've noticed, if anybody watches Bithead 1000, the funniest bloke on the internet by a mile. Don't always agree with what he says, and I don't always like some of the people who also watch his videos. But really funny bloke, and he gets up at whatever time in the morning to make his videos in his shed, And you can tell it's sort of early hours in the morning because he looks knackered when he first starts, but then sort of by the end of the video he looks like he's fully woken up and he doesn't look knackered anymore. But I'm still really bushed. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I need a holiday. But anyway, yeah. Pickups video. That's not that you can see it. That's man versus food. That's how you can tell how much light how light it is out there. It's how dark that telly is. Wish more light would come in through the curtains because I'm looking a bit pasty. But anyway, pickups video. Yeah, actually, most of this stuff I've got here is really unremarkable. A lot of it is, but there's one absolute corker, which I actually tweeted about when I bought it. It's like pretty nice actually. It's still scratching. It's really annoying. It's a really annoying noise. I'll do my best to ignore it. Right. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is really unremarkable. Vast majority is for trading in. Some of it's just sort of for spares. Right, hang on. I'm going to get rid of the little bastard. Here's the culprit. Say hello. Say hello. Oh shit! Ow, ow. Well, I'm gonna if I don't chuck her out, she's gonna keep scratching on the door because she wants attention. So say hello. Yeah. I'll be back in like a couple of seconds. Got all these distractions. I've forgotten where I was. Now you can see it, and it's look. You can see the shitty ads, but you can't see it's man versus food. It's a repeat. It's a repeat. Yeah. Unremarkable pickups, apart from the odd one or two. Charity shops. One thing that I've bought, that's sort of a couple of things that I bought to add to something else with an idea of trading that something else in, but I'll get to that. First couple bought recently a couple of charity shop purchases. Why am I hovering my hand over the stop button? I don't know why I'm doing that. Ignore it. Yeah, a couple of most Need for Speeds. Need for Speeds. They're £1 each. I vaguely remember someone saying about how Need for Speeds, a couple of Need for Speeds were worth having. I can't remember which ones it was, and I sort of they were only £1, so I had a go. I think there was another one that and it turns out it's not these that I was thinking of. These are get you £3, so I'm not losing out. I might even play them. You never know. You know, it has been known that I play my games, but yeah, it's Carbon. Need for Speed Carbon, Need for Speed Carbon Special Edition, and I think it's Most Wanted. Sorry, this one, Most Wanted 05. This is Most Wanted 12. So Most Wanted 05 is the good one. So those three are worth having. You know, actually last night I took hours making a list of everything you wouldn't necessarily expect would be worth money that is. And I might, if I had a phone, I'd put it on my phone, but I haven't, so I might print it out and take it out whenever I go on a bit of a mooch. You know, things like PC games. You know, some of them are worth credit. But so yeah, I took a punt on those, thinking they might be worth credit. And because I like to keep sort of some credit spare in case something really good turns up. And but yeah, they'll get me £3 each. And who knows? As I said, I might even play them before I trade them in. This one was more for playing, but if I'm honest, it might go the same way. Ratchet and Clank All for One. Really only bought because it was 50p. 50p. This is something about this I've never seen any other PlayStation 3 game do before. Is that if you open it up, the whole case is sort of snapped like that. So I've never seen that before. So I'll probably swap out the case before I trade it in because I'm nice like that, rather than pass it on to some other poor bastard. And actually, it's mainly to do with the fact I wasn't sure they'd take it with a totally knackered case. They probably would, but you know, for 50p. I had 50. Remember that? That was the only cash I had on me at the time was 50p. I thought it's fate. It's fucking dark. It's dark, isn't it? How often do I have this problem in my videos? It's too dark. Never. Normally I'm like radioactive. And this is probably the best charity shop. Actually, no, it's not. There's something coming up which is better than this. But seems maybe expensive for this, but I've recently discovered that this is the I think it's one of those games it's a 360 game. It's on the backwards compatible list for the Xbox One, Modern Warfare 2 for £3. Oh, that's quite expensive for a really old game. But no, this will get you £12 credit. So I'm building it. I'm sort of there because there's always things I want on Computer Exchange website, and like I said, so if I can build it up, then I can. Ever since they've been doing retro, I've taken such a chunk out of my wants list, more so than before they were doing retro. You know, went years without sort of ticking a few games off. Pardon me, sorry. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. I've forgotten who it was who mentioned it, but keep an eye out for that because it should be everywhere. There should be loads of these. But yeah, sorry, distractions. Modern Warfare 2, £3 in the charity shop. And right, this next one is to do with the thing that I was thinking of trading in. It might take a bit of explaining. It shouldn't do, really, but it's getting a bit lighter now, can you tell? You can see what's on the screen now. It's all right. It's looking all right now. It is Monster Hunter Tri, £3. I just bought this recently, just cash purchase in a computer exchange. It's a local one. Because I'll explain the next thing actually. Sorry, fucking hell, explain myself properly. Right, I'm going to do this. I also bought this. It's a black classic controller because this was cash, this was credit, this was £10 credit from Computer Exchange, both from Computer Exchange. Going back years, God knows. Probably since it was after I started doing YouTube, but probably in the early days, I went into a game, and they had. This is when this game was current. They had the special edition there. I think they're called war chests. Monster Hunter Tri war chests. They look like a treasure chest, and in it they had the game, controller, a Wii Speak, and this shitty little figure that comes in a little box. It's like a head. I think it's sort of a bit like that. It's like a dragon head, I think. It's rubbish. And but you know, sort of, it's a massive box, and I've got it upstairs. It's really getting on my tits because it sort of gets in the way. But it's gone dark again. Gone light again. Somebody heard me. Yeah. So ever since I've had it, it gets in the way, and I wanted to sort of move it off, just do something with it, get it out of the way. But I didn't want to trade it in because I wanted the game and I wanted the controller. I wanted to keep. So I looked, and this war chest at the time when I checked, CEX was selling it for £40, and you'd get £25 credit. So hang on, this cost a tenner, and this cost £3. So that's £13, and I could sort of buy both of them, which the two elements of this war chest I wanted to keep, and then trade in sort of like the rest of it, and I've made sort of £10 credit or £12 credit. So brilliant. That's my thinking. But since I had that idea, they've actually brought the price down to 35 quid, which so get you £23 credit. So I'm only really making £10 credit. So, you know, so essentially, this gets you this costs 3. This costs 10. Essentially, you're paying an extra 12 quid for a box, a crappy little figurine, and a Wii Speak. Wii Speaks, they sell Wii Speaks for about 50p. I don't think they sell the figurine, and so essentially it's the box. Like, Jesus. So there's logic in there somewhere, even though I explained it really poorly. So that's my reasoning for buying these. So, yeah, it's a nice little controller actually. It's really comfortable, but it's just light and it doesn't have a rumble. It doesn't have feedback, and you can't push the thumbsticks in. And you, sort of with modern controllers, you're so used to that, it's weird when they don't. But it's a nice controller, and it's got the cord in the right place. The original white one had the cord there, which was bizarre. So, yeah, right. When I bought that pad, in the same branch of Computer Exchange, same branch, I also bought things that were for me to keep. One of them is Deception 4, Blood Ties. I've pretty much got all the ones for the consoles I own now, versions of this. I've got... what's it called? I've just gone blank. I'm drawing a blank. The second game is Deception... I've gone blank on that one as well. 2 PS1 games. That's my speciality, PS1. How can I forget it? But the oh Jesus, the 2 Deception games on the PS1, whatever they're called, almost came to me then. Almost came to me. But yeah, so I got this one. I got Trapped on the PS2, and then this one. It's sort of, they take the idea of a mousetrap, and you have to defend your. Essentially, you have to defend your castle by setting up traps and luring all these invaders into the traps, and it's really sort of macabre and grotesque. And there's all these like traps you might have seen in Edgar Allan Poe films. You know, have you ever seen The Pit and the Pendulum? It's horrible. It's not horrible. It's just like gruesome, just really dark, macabre, ghoulish. This whole idea of this pendulum that just goes like that, swings backwards and forwards with a blade on the end. So that sort of thing, and there's all these quite nasty traps, but it's just £5. I thought it was a decent price for this game. It's not particularly sought after, but I've played them, but I generally blunder through. My progress I've ever made playing them, I enjoyed them. I really need to knuckle down and play one of them properly one day. Kagero Deception 2. That's it. That's the second PS. I've got the first PS1 coins. What was that one called? Anyway, yeah, I really need to knuckle down and play them properly and make some proper progress. It's just sort of it's almost in real time. So I like, as a lot of people say, you know, I like having time to make decisions, and because this works in real time, because you know you have these characters that are invading, they're after you and they're invading your castle. You have to sort of think quickly, so it goes against how my mind works. But maybe one of these days I'll sort of sit down and play it properly. But generally, any progress I've ever made in these games, it's sort of just blundering through. So yeah, and also with that, not really a punt. This is one on my list. It's Ray Tracers on the PS1. This is it's essentially it's the closest thing you'll get to Chase HQ. Essentially, that's what it is. It's yeah, not a very common game actually, and I knew they had one in the branch I was going to. And the thing is, at the time, it doesn't sell very much on eBay, so there's not much of you can't get much of a handle on how much it's worth. And this was 20 quid. And at the time, I'd checked, and I had in my head that 20 quid was a decent price, because I think previously I'd seen some go for sort of like 30 or so, or maybe a bit more. I thought 20 quid's a good price. I'll keep an eye out for that, and you know, I'll have a look at it, and if it's in decent nick, I might go with it. So I had a look, and it's in decent nick. It's got this shit on the back. It's got really ancient old Game Station sticker. Where is that? Oh, Jesus, where is that? 0207 380 0161. Where would that be? So that's 0207. What part of London is that? It's a different part of London, isn't it? Is that central London? I can't remember how it works. Jesus, 1998, 25th of October 1998. But yeah, but having bought it and got home, I think the last one of these to actually sell on eBay sold for about a tenner on auction. But it's in nice nick. I think maybe the front looks like it's got a bit damp, and maybe the back. But I got the guy to he resurfaced it for me. I think it was like his first day or something, and he was really keen. And he resurfaced it for me, but then he took it out of the machine. All of the weird goo that they put on it had sort of almost exploded on the front of the disc. And we looked at it and thought, Jesus, we sort of recoiled like that, because it looked like somehow their machine had sort of put loads of really deep gouges on the front of the disc. But no, it was literally just sort of the white stuff that it somehow sort of spread outwards in all like these sort of like splinters almost, if you know what I mean. But yeah, this is one of the lessons. It's supposed to be good fun. Although I remember reading about it on the reviews. I remember reading the reviews, and they said it's a really short game. It probably won't take you very long, so it's not worth paying full price for. So, you know, now it you know, makes more sense if I can sort of pay for it with credit. So I had 20 quid credit. So yeah, that was not bad. I'm you know, I'll put that down to experience. That 20 quid credit's probably pretty high, but it's still credit either way. Right, that's the normal stuff. On to the big boy. Or boys. What am I talking about? I don't know. Something I tweeted. Something I tweeted going back a couple of weeks. Went into a charity shop and saw some shitty PS1 games. I'll show you those because I actually ended up buying them. For the cases, though, this is for the cases. Nothing brilliant. Victory Boxing 2. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Philosopher's Stone. Philosopher's Stone, not Chamber of Secrets. And a classics version of Theme Park World. They had sort of 5 or 6. These were the best cases. And as you can see, 99p. 99p, yeah. You think that's expensive for cases, but I see, compared to how it was a few years ago, I see PS1 games a lot less, and so you get a lot less choice. And because of that, when I see them, I'm more likely to pay more than I used to. I used to set the threshold at about 50p for spare cases. As it is, it's gone up. You know, it's gone up. I might even pay more. 2 quid, probably not. Maybe over £1, but 99p is probably about, you know. So it's basically 3 decent-ish PS1 games for £1 each. But I wasn't really gonna bother. But then I saw something as I was looking at them. I saw something on the floor of this charity shop. I thought, what the hell's that? I looked down, and it had Spyro. This thing had a Spyro emblem on the top. What the hell is that? And I might as well get it out, because this is what I saw. I saw that. Like that. I stood above it and I thought, Spyro? What's that? And it's this thing. Now, what the hell is this? It's this one. This is the front. What the hell is this? So I opened it up. See, it's got a lid. Like that. That's what it looks like inside. Got a lid. And on the inside was this. I thought, what the fuck is that? And I took the book out the back, this thing, and had a look inside. it has, where's it got? Yeah, it's got a PS1 logo on it, so I thought, is that a PS1 thing? Turns out it is. Turns out it's a original Spyro the Dragon press kit in a charity shop for $2.99. I thought, oh, I can't really leave that behind, can I? I thought, not really my sort of not really my bag. The sort of press kit's like really sort of specialist, but I'd be an idiot to leave it behind. And the thing is, I couldn't find the disc. It's got this thing here. I took it out. I'm pretty loath to take it out, actually. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take the bottom off, because the bottom bit comes out as well. See, there's just nothing in there. It's just a box. So this bit here, I took that out and there was no disc in it. And I thought, oh, bugger. I bet that's where the disc goes, the game disc, because it was, you know, it was maybe something to do with Spyro. Actually, to be honest, I didn't even realise it was meant to have a game disc. I read some of the blurb. It's in English, that blurb. Read some of the blurb, and I get the impression it was some sort of demo thing. But yeah, there was clearly an empty space for a disc in this booklet, cardboard booklet thing. I didn't really notice whatever that was in the middle. But it had this weird sort of foam representation of Spyro. So I thought, $2.99. I could put that with my, it was in a Mind. Yeah, branch of Mind. No, Bernardo's, not Mind. It was Bernardo's. And from experience, because I go into charity shops a lot, I've never seen anything in any Bernardo's. Bernardo's are rubbish for games, but not on this occasion. Yeah, so I thought, screw it. I might as well put that with those 3 PS1 games I was contemplating buying, and then because I didn't have any cash, and I thought that would probably take me over the £5 threshold, because it was one of the charity shops that has a minimum for car payments. So yeah, the guy let me buy it on my card, and yeah, bought a bag with it, because I wasn't going to lug it around him sort of like under my arm like that. Took it home. When I got it home, I was able to have a better look at it. Took this thing out, discovered that's the game disc in there. No, actually, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't at all. There is the disc in this cardboard thing was the disc, whatever was in here, and the game disc. Okay, I'm sorry, but there's a game disc in there. The game disc was sort of stuffed down in front of it, in the slot where it sits. So I didn't realise that they were all together. But so yeah, and having done a bit of research, I've discovered that they're numbered. There you go. So I've got 1,355 out of 2,130. Value-wise, I have no idea, but and like I said, it's a bit specialist for me. I'm not really like an Uber collector like that who needs press kits, but it's a nice thing to have for the time being. And although one slight downside, whoever had it for me, sort of battered it a bit. This is foam with a sort of as you can see, but it's all sort of a bit knackered there. So whoever had it, I think probably didn't push that down far enough, and they'd been pressing the lid down on top of it. So these are all sort of splayed. But what I've done, I've bought some PVA glue. I'm going to try and repair those. I don't think it'd be too difficult. Just a bit of glue. They're all a bit curly and split. I think a bit of glue should work pretty well. Probably the worst thing is that there. You see there? That's the spine of the booklet, and a bit on this side as well. But that's the spine. So what it is, sort of there's slots in this top bit here to hold all this stuff. But then about there's another bit there's another bit with another. It's like a double like level. There's another level of card there, with slots cut in it. It's basically to keep it stable. But whoever's had it before has forced this bit down, and it hasn't gone through the second slot. So there's the slots up there. It hasn't gone through the second slot, and rather than it's sort of been forced on the inside, and it's clearly like splayed. You know what I mean? And it's knackered the spine on. Mainly on this side, but a bit on this side as well. But you know, like I said, it's not something I'm going to leave it for. I'd be a bloody idiot. But it's a nice thing to have. And I've done a bit of research, and one of my neighbours just walked past with her kid, and her kid is obsessed with our cats, and he just sort of saw me sort of sitting in the window and sort of pointed, distracted me. But I've forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, I did a bit of research, and it's basically like press kits, and it's limited numbers, and I sort of not googled, put in Spyro press kit into YouTube. Maybe that's, I don't know actually. It's a funnily made thing. It's not brilliant for keeping things in good nick. You know, there are things that could, like I said, sort of things could get squashed and sort of broken. But anyway, yeah, I think I discovered videos like unboxings. There's 2 unboxings. There's some guy in America who's got one. He's got one in German, I think he's got, and Dr. Retro, he's from the Netherlands, who's pretty well known. He's got one as well. But other than that, I don't know anyone else who's got one. So I thought, what a nice thing to have. But and it looks like. There you go, it looks like that. And it's, there you go, let's show that again. 1,355 out of 2,130. Can't lie, as I said, I'm not sort of the sort of uber collector, the hardcore collector who keeps things like this, but I probably will keep hold of it for a short while at least. But as far as my mindset goes, it's really more. What could I sell this on or trade it on and sort of trade it in somewhere and get something, you know, what sort of value could I get out of this to get something that can go into my collection? Maybe I'm thinking this would be a good way of me affording some of the higher priced PS1, or maybe even one or half a PS1 game. One of the higher priced ones, you know, something like Mega Man X, I don't know. I have no idea what this would be worth. But I had considered taking it to because it's Saturday now. I'd considered taking it to the London Gaming Market, which is tomorrow. But I need to do some repairs, and I don't want to rush it. And I've just remembered that I've got my nieces coming over tomorrow, and they're coming over sort of midday, and the market starts at 11. So, which sort of pretty much rules that out. But I could bring them along, I suppose. Turn up late. I'd love that. But yeah, so I was thinking the idea would be to take it along and see if anyone would take it in trade, because or even the fact that there might be someone there who would know more about it than I do. Because I thought of doing the same thing with I don't know if anyone remembers a copy of. Actually, it's right here. I'll get it out. This. It is Tekken 4 Special Edition, sealed, given away with some Tekken 4 tournament in 2003. Yeah, and in the past I've thought, oh, could I take this to the London Game Market and maybe sort of trade it in for something decent? But I sort of bottled it, and I'd have to either wait right to the end or go in really early and get there before the crowds, so that I can, really negotiate or at least sort of discuss something, or talk about it with one of the vendors, and they might not necessarily be up for it. Although I've done that in the past. I've traded some stuff in the past, and the guy was only too happy to take what I traded. But it just makes it a bit more of a ball ache, because I don't like talking to people. Another weird thing about this, where I bought this, probably I'd say about 800 metres away from where I found this. These are the two most sort of hardcore weird things I've got in my collection, which leads me to believe that whoever traded both of these whoever traded both of them in, probably the same person, and maybe sorry about that. Maybe an industry insider who's got access to weird stuff like this, or maybe even a collector. But if you were a collector, would you give this stuff to charity? Or maybe it was a collector's mum. Maybe the collector had finally moved out of her basement, or dad, and just chucked it all out, giving it to charity. But who knows? Yeah. So also, when I bought, because I paid for this on my bank card, on the receipt. Actually, no, it would have come up either way. But on the receipt for this, it says the donor number, because obviously they donated it through they have that. They have that scheme, don't they, where they charity shops, where if you give them your address and you're a taxpayer, they get money back or something for donations. What do they call it? I forgot what they call it now. But anyway, yeah. So essentially, I've got sort of the first piece of information into finding out who donated this. Is something to work on, so I could track them down. I've got their donor number. If I could go back to the same branch and somehow, if I can get in some information about, their donor numbers, break in and try and access their computer system to find out who that donor number applies to and where they live, and go and introduce myself. Got any more stuff you fancy giving away? I would say, but Jesus, this is a long video. I can't even remember how long the other bits were, but it's got a bit of a blue glow now. Where's that from? Before it was really dark. Now I'm blue. Well, I'm going to let you go. That's my stuff. Yeah. Like I said, I was going to go to the London Game Market. Probably not now. I don't know if anyone else is going. I've not heard anything. But if only it was in a bigger venue. That's probably my only gripe. For a city the size of London, it needs to be so much bigger. It's really frustrating that it's not. It's just a piddly little venue, and everybody gets packed in like sardines, and and you have to it's the elbowing I don't like. I don't want to fight with people to be able to sort of like have a look at a copy of. I couldn't think of a game on the top of my head. All right, cheers. Thanks for watching. See you later.